So Charlotte is an amazing anime, and in this video, I'll be talking about its story, its main themes, and some life lessons from it. So let's get started. We start off with the protagonist, Yu Otosaka, whose opening quote itself is, "From when I was little, I had a question in my mind. Why am I only myself and not someone else? I heard that 'I think, therefore I am' are the words of an ancient philosopher, but I didn't think. I thought about someone else. That perhaps the person over there is myself as well. And that's because he has a superpower which allows him to possess other people for 5 seconds and do whatever he wants to with their bodies while they're unconscious. He initially uses it for typical perverted stuff and getting revenge on bullies and stuff, but later realizes that he can use it to look into the answers of the highest scoring students and copy them without being caught. So he cheats his way through his middle school exams and even his entrance exams for getting into an elite high school. He combines his natural and handsome look with his good grades that he got from cheating in order to attract girls and saves the life of the most beautiful one in order to start dating her. However, the student council president of another school named Nao Tomori finds out about his ability and traps him by catching him using his power on camera. She then makes him transfer to a high school named Star Ocean High School, which is actually a place that protects all the adolescents who possess superpowers like him from the scientists. He joins the student council and helps the members Nao Tomori, the girl with the superpower of invisibility, and Takajo Jojiro, the guy with the power of super speed. They also work with a collaborator who has the power to locate and figure out people using certain superpowers in any area. He also gets to see Nao's brother, a guy who was earlier really passionate about music and had a band of his own, but due to scientists finding out about his superpower and using him until we ran out of it, because the superpower is a disease which only adolescents can get and not adults. He ends up becoming a shell of his former self and has to rely on medication to calm down, and he doesn't even recognize his own sister. They also add an idol named Yusa Kurobani to the student council, a girl who has the power of channeling, and her ghost, which is none other than her sister Misa Kurobani's ghost, has the power of pyrokinesis, and she's also more tough and flamboyant compared to Yusa, which makes her look like she has two different personalities. Soon, they also find out through the collaborator that Yu's sister Ayumi might also have a superpower named Collapse, which activates when a person gets too agitated by any emotion. And although Yu tries to save her, he isn't able to make it in time as Ayumi uses the power unintentionally when confronted by a yandere girl who wants to kill her and ends up dying. Yu inevitably goes into a downward spiral and indulges himself in all sorts of sensory pleasures until Nao finds him and brings him back to normal personality. He also meets a vocalist of a band named The End, which happens to be the band that Nao's brother idolized and Nao really likes. Her name's Sala Shane, and she's really good at figuring out what other people are going through, so he takes her to Nao's brother and makes her sing, which leads him to finally recognize Nao. He also goes with Nao next day to a live concert by Zien, and although he's listening to a brand new song by them which he's never listened to before, he feels like he's listened to it and completely blacks out by getting PTSD. He then meets his brother Shunsuke Otosaka, whom he did not know about earlier. Shunsuke explains how he used his power to time leap to protect everyone who has superpowers from the scientists, also about how he was the one who raised funds to build the Star Ocean Academy, as well as how he erased Yu's and Ayumi's memories of him. But due to using his power multiple times for it, he turns blind and cannot use the power anymore. He also reveals to you that his true power is the ability to plunder, that is, steal other people's powers, and also that the collaborator is none other than Kumogami, a friend of his who helped him build the school. So Yu steals the time leap ability, saves his little sister Ayumi again, and also learns about a comet named Charlotte, which is what the anime is named after, and the dust of which spreads the disease of superpowers among people. Soon something bad happens, and two evil guys capture Nao as well as Kumagami, so Shunsuke has no choice but to send Yu to use the powers that he'd plundered to protect them. Yu tries hard to do so but loses one of his eyes, and because of this, he's not able to use the time leap power, and in the end gets agitated, and the whole building, which him, the bad guys, and the captives are in, collapses. The bad guys die, and Yu saves himself with the power of telekinesis, but Kumagami ends up sacrificing himself in order to save Nao. Even Yu suffers from severe injuries, gets hospitalized and meets his friends who bring him food and stuff and talk to him to make him feel better. He also meets Nao and confesses his feelings towards her, but she tells him that she'll only accept his feelings if he manages to steal every single superpower from every single person in the entire world. So he goes to multiple countries, steals every superpower, which also has a huge effect on his brain, and on returning back to Japan, loses his memory of Nao. But regardless, she convinces him about her being his girlfriend now, and in the end, all of them live happily ever after due to not having to worry about superpowers anymore. So here are 5 main themes which you can take from Charlotte. Number 1, how the human nature changes according to the circumstances that one faces. We notice how Yu and others in the show develop or flesh out different sides of their personality based on their circumstances. For example, how Nao becomes more tough and meticulous in her planning, and how Yu becomes overconfident when he has his superpower, as well as how he becomes depressed when Ayumi dies. Similarly, even we change a lot based on our external circumstances and show different sides of our personalities because of it. Number 2, the hypothetical effect of fiction in reality. This anime goes to show us what would actually happen to the world if everyone got superpowers. Nothing much, just the same stuff. People use superpowers as well in the same way they use money or authority or charisma or any other quality that already exists in the real world, and soon enough people get accustomed to it. Also, we see how people who are lucky or unlucky, however you perceive it, to have these superpowers dominate over others. Number 3, altruism. This is mainly shown by Shunsuke and Nao by how much they care about other people. Shunsuke tries his level best and acts as a foundation for protecting those who have superpowers, and so does Nao, and she also cares about Yu and makes sure that he does not turn into an addict. Similarly, even we should care about others and help them when they need it, while also respecting those who have helped us as well. Number 4, absurdity. The show basically shows us how absurd the world actually is, and how it is or has the potential to be completely different from what we imagine, which we can also find in the works of Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre. Number 5, the beauty of a normal life. In the end, the anime just wants to tell us that we should enjoy our normal lives as they are, rather than wishing for some stupid fictional stuff to happen to us. It shows this in multiple ways, such as you enjoying certain types of food after being hurt, now being a fangirl of the end and the ending as well. So even we must value our so-called normal lives in this way. So here are 10 life lessons from Charlotte. Number 1, the world is a lot more absurd and weirder than you think. Number 2, the existing order of the world is only time being. Number 3, always use the extra power or quality that you have for the better and not for the worse. Number 4, negative events always have a lifelong impact on a human's personality. Number 5, always have care and empathy towards yourself and others. Number 6, every problem has its own solution. Number 7, never take for granted the ones who care for you. Number 8, human nature changes according to the circumstances. Number 9, humans are extremely capable as well as disappointing. Number 10, enjoy your life and the world as it is. So my final thoughts on Charlotte are that it's actually pretty good, and it's amazing even in Death Note or Attack on Titan level in many cases. But the ending was quite abrupt, and I really wanted to point out how perfect Charlotte would have been if the whole superpowers from everyone in the world thing had an entire season of its own, with a proper final boss who actually poses a threat. There are also a lot of plot holes in the anime, and a lot of things are not explained. They just abruptly ended. But yeah, I'm still happy with what we already have, and I just think that the show would have been a lot more popular as well as impactful, like the anime that I mentioned earlier, if it was longer and if it really went deeply into the rest of the story. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.